Yes. I did pull for Kaminosuke, and I guess Yuzuha comes with him, so I thought I would do a little video explaining how to play and build Ukinami Yuzuha. Now, our little prankster is a physical support who mostly buffs anomaly units, and in my opinion, can even be a great support for other DPS characters also. So finally, you don't need Astra for every single team you have, and can replace some with Yuzuha. Now, Yuzuha is pretty simple to play. Like most support characters, your favorite button is going to be this little purple one right here, and her ultimate also, mostly because they are what activate her sweet scare debuff, that when applied to an enemy, grants Tanuki Wish to all teammates, which this grants attack based on Yuzuha's attack, and also grants anomaly buildup, all attribute anomaly damage, and disorder damage based on her anomaly mastery, which this applies to all of her teammates on the enemy with the debuff. And also Kama follows you around. Look at him, he's so chubby. What are they feeding him? Now, I'll go over the amount of attack and anomaly mastery you need in the building section, but the good thing about this debuff is that it lasts pretty long, so you don't need to keep activating the debuff that often. One other thing she does in this state is that she has an aftershock. When she has these little sugar points right here, she can consume them off field and does an aftershock that deals damage. But when the active character hits the enemy with the same attribute for the first time, Yuzuha's damage in the aftershock changes to whatever attribute the active character is using. So if you're using Miyabi, she will deal frost damage, which just contributes to Miyabi's attribute anomaly buildup rate even more. You gain 3 sugar points when entering the field, 2 when hitting your special or ultimate attack, and 1 when using her chain attack. Each aftershock happens every 8 seconds also. But that's not all, folks. She has a defensive assist like Yi Zhuan's special attack, where you hold her basic attack, and when the enemy hits you, she will negate the damage and do a counter attack. So how I basically use her in a doubly anomaly team is, first I would use her special attack to enter the sweet scare phase, switch to another character, usually this is Vivian to gain some feather guards, or whoever your secondary anomaly character is so you can apply an attribute, then switch to your main DPS to hit a disorder. Then you can switch back if you need to reactivate the sweet scare debuff on an enemy, or you need more sugar points, or to use her to block an attack. Pretty simple, right? Now for her W engine, her signature is obviously going to be the best for her because it gives more buffs to anomaly proficiency and mastery, which because of the 30 mastery it gives you, it is easier to get 200 anomaly mastery to fully maximize her additional ability buffs. But is she useless without it? Not in my opinion. Even if you don't get that extra anomaly mastery, you're only really missing out at around 6% for the anomaly buildup and attribute damage she gives to her teammates. Alternatives that give attack bonuses are still beneficial to her team, whether they are anomaly or not. Now for S-rank alternatives, Weeping Cradle is a pretty good one because it gives you energy while off field, and also because she deals off field damage, she's able to apply the damage buff often. Now, another good one is Astra Yao's signature, Elegant Vanity. This one's also a good one because once she consumes energy, she will grant a damage buff that lasts for 20 seconds. Now for A ranks, Kaboom the Cannon I think is actually a really good alternative. It grants a damage boost when a friendly unit attacks an enemy. That can be stacked up to 4 times, but each friendly can only give 1 stack. Now you're probably asking me, but if you only have 3 teammates, how do you get that 4th stack? Well, you silly little bitch. You are forgetting our furry little partner, Kama, who attacks the enemy while Yuzuha is off field and grants that 4th stack. That's why Kama is the best, because he's going to help you fully maximize that buff. Now for her stats, what you need to focus on is getting 3000 attack and 200 mastery to fully maximize her buffs. 3000 attack because she grants attack to her teammates with Tanuki's Wish based off 40% of her initial attack. So with 3000 attack, she will grant the max of 1200 to her teammates, which is the same as Astra Yao's core ability buff, which is kinda insane. I didn't think she would give the same amount of attack, but she does. And you need 200 mastery because she gives anomaly buildup and attribute anomaly damage based off 2% of every point of her anomaly mastery that is over 100. So 200 would give the max of 20% for both. So here are the substats you need to focus on. Obviously attack to get to that 3000 attack. Then after you bet that, I would try to get anomaly proficiency. Then she hits attributes pretty fast because she scales off mastery. Anomaly proficiency will help you maximize that attribute damage that she does deal. Now for disk drives, you could go multiple different ways with this, and the thing that is a little annoying is that none of the 4 pieces are insanely good for her. Personally, I think that best is Astral Voice over Swing Jazz, mostly because you quick swap more often than you do a chain or ultimate attack, especially if you're using 2 anomaly agents with her. Unless you have her Mindscape 2, which forces a chain attack with a heavy attack, which you guys aren't probably gonna do because you guys are financially responsible, right? But honestly, I'm not gonna spend that much money to test it. I kinda gotta stay strong for the bunny girl, so gotta save up. But if you only have her at M0, with Swing Jazz, you don't get that buff that often, but what I do really like with it is the energy regen with the 2-piece. Now, another 4 set that I have seen people use is Protopunk, which you could keep the buff pretty easily with her defensive assist, but the shield buff for the 2-piece is kinda useless. So if you don't need the plus 10 attack or the energy regen, which her buff is super long, you really don't need to do a special attack that often, honestly, then I say you could go with the Protopunk, but just remember to do a defensive assist with her every 10 seconds to keep that buff up. Now for her 2-piece, that is a lot easier. You really need Phaethon's Melody to get that mastery, because in this game, it is very hard to get mastery anywhere. Now, if you are going to get her Mindscapes, here are the ones that I think are good to get, which honestly, all of them seem pretty interesting to me, but again, I have to stay financially responsible. Bills, bunny girl, bills, bunny girl. But like I mentioned earlier, her Mindscape 2 forces a chain attack with a heavy attack, but not only that, her damage and anomaly buildup buffs are increased. So her Mindscape 2 is a pretty good stopping point if you don't want to spend too much money but still want to invest more into her. Now, if money is no issue to you, or you have been saving up, which, hey, I respect that, you have better self-control than I do. But I think her M6 is pretty good, because it allows you to get a sugar point with her defensive assist, and then when you hold down the basic attack afterwards, you fire a powerful attack that increases disorder damage even more. Now her M1 and M4 are still pretty good also, because they do increase the squad's damage and or anomaly buildup. For her skills, I would focus on her special and ultimate, because those are what you're going to be using for most of the time. Then I would do the basic attack, and then all the others are kind of at the bottom. You could kind of be like me and just kind of forget about them, and then focus on a new character that comes out. Now, obviously, she is best for anomaly units. For a secondary anomaly unit, my favorite is Vivian, mostly because her blooms, her disorder damage buffs, and her ability to provide attribute anomalies off field. Now, Bernice is also really good because of her ability to provide attribute anomalies off field also. Another unit that is actually really good at a secondary or a primary DPS is Yanagi. I would just build her differently depending on how you are going to use her, but that is for another video. Now for primary DPS, the best is obviously going to be Miyabi. I wait for the day that I do not have to say that anymore. But other anomaly units that she basically just makes better are Jane, or you could use Grandma Piper. The one thing that I was surprised about though is how good she is with attack characters. Now, the 2 characters that I tested that I thought she could be better with than Astra are Harumasa and Soldier 11, because they both benefit from the attack buff and could possibly benefit with the extra anomaly buffs. The one thing I have to admit though is that I have not touched Harumasu and Chingy, so please do not judge my builds or how I use them. I'm so sorry. I will promise I will learn them. But I tested both of them with Astra and Yuzuha for a few different bosses. In terms of time, each test, it seems like Astra was faster, but Yuzuha was not far behind. So if you do not have Astra and need a support for your attack characters, I think Yuzuha will definitely work as a generalist support also. Just because of time, I didn't really test her with other attack characters, but if you were able to and you maybe have a team that I missed out on, please let me know it down in the comments. Now, Yuzuha is a unit I would not advise to skip. I replaced Nicole with her for Deadly Assault, and I went from 22,000 to 37,000 points. So I would say that she's a pretty good unit, or maybe I just suck with Nicole, which both are probably true. But I really like that they are adding supports that fill different roles. Hopefully they could add a disk drive that suits her better. That I feel like is her only really downside. And I think she'll probably be meta for a pretty long time as long as they keep on adding anomaly units. But yeah, that is really all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you could please like and subscribe, really helps me out. Comment down below and let me know if you're getting Yuzuha or maybe there's a character you're waiting for. I honestly really appreciate you guys watching and showing love on my videos. I try to respond to every comment, and it honestly makes my day when you guys engage with my content. I am gonna try to do a Miyabi one next because of her rerun, so hopefully that comes out in a timely manner. But yeah, that is all I got for you. Thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you on the next one. Okay, bye-bye.